Does the law of attraction still apply after death? And do you believe our energy continues after we die in creating beyond the physical world?
Certainly, law of attraction plays a part in death, but after that, and the frequency we go out on is the frequency we come back in at.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it makes a big difference what you do in this life.
Yeah.
Don't waste it, like really. And but the in between part is, and for some, that in between part is nothing. It's like a day, an hour. It's nothing. It depends how attached you are to the world. If you're really attached to the world, you'll be bouncing back really fast because that attachment will bring you back. So law of attraction is definitely on the way out in terms of creating your life, but then your frequency and how conscious you are when you go out is the consciousness that you have when you come back in. Therefore, it would be the kind of country you come back into or the kind of parents you have or,
Got it. What would you say is the difference between wanting more money and being aligned to money?
Ooh. Well, being aligned to wanting more money is you don't have it, right? And being aligned with it sort of suggests you've got it. So I think being aligned is better.
Yeah.
Is better. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we start to align ourselves to money in another way that we haven't talked about yet? Is there any other way that we should be thinking about this?
One of the things that one of my favorite practices in that book, and it's probably one of the simplest, but also one of the hardest, because it requires you to be very mindful. And so it's turning outgoing money into incoming money.
How do we do that?
And so you do it by every time that money goes out, in your mind, you pretend, you make believe that money, that you're receiving that money.
It's like a check or someone's handing you money.
Yeah.
So I've got to write a check for a few $100s or a few $1,000.
Yeah.
And you write that check for a bill
but then you imagine that you're receiving it. As you give it, you're like imagining you're receiving it.
What happens when we make that imagination, when we spend money when we're receiving it? Because
then your money's going to increase dramatically.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so take your really big amounts that you pay out for, like rent, of a studio and that kind of thing. And when you give it out, as you give it out, just imagine that you're receiving it and be grateful. Thank you. Thank you for this money. And I'm talking about when you get your coffee, when you fill up with gas, when you go to the supermarket, in your whole day, every time you hand your credit card over, every time you pay out money, imagine that you are receiving that money instead. The difference, like you do that one thing.
Wow.
One thing alone. Because why? Because most people, when they're paying out money, they feel bad. Right?
They feel like what? Like, I'm losing this money?
Yeah, I'm not going to have it. How am I going to have enough to pay the rent? Or, when they go to an ATM and they look at their balance and they're like, oh, how am I going to have enough to do this or enough to do that? So when you do this practice, it's actually making you think about receiving money and being grateful to receive money. And you are at the same time taking out all of those negative feelings about lack that is a big attractor. So it's good.
Yeah, because when you feel bad, I guess a lot of people have a trigger when they spend money. It makes them feel good for a moment, right? It's like, I'm buying this thing to feel good.
Yeah.
Because I'm lacking the feeling good already. So this thing's going to make me feel better. But then they're like, oh, I don't want to look at my bank account because I realize how much money I'm losing that I don't have in there anymore. Yeah. So I'm either afraid of that, looking at it, or I feel bad later that I spent that money. So then I go spend a little bit more to feel good on something else to get that feeling again, right?
Yeah.
I've had that for sure before. And
vacations.
Oh, yeah.
Right? A lot of people they'll go on vacation and they'll be like, they're putting half the vacation or all the vacation on a credit card. They don't even want to think about it. Or they're going on a trip, a world trip or whatever, and, the credit card's here, there, and everywhere, and they come back to all this debt. All of this debt. So
if you go and buy something to feel good in the moment, but then you put yourself in debt and then you feel shameful later.
You feel guilt.
What happens with that transfer of energy?
More money is taken from you, yeah.
You go into more and more debt.
It's because you're in lack, because you're focused on lack. So we attract whatever we're thinking. So if it's lack, we attract more lack. And that can look like things breaking down, the bill being way bigger than you thought, 3 times bigger. You know, that you need all the time, your insurance has got like doubled. You know, this has happened, the healthcare has gone, like all of those things. There are so many areas of lack that you can bring into your life. And the thing is, when you're focused on those things, you're inviting that. That's what you're doing. You're inviting it into your life. We don't realize, you know, that's inviting. Like the universe is like, I'm going to give you whatever you want. Whatever you want. You just think it and I'm going to give it to you. And I'm not going to make any judgment about whether you want it or not. I'm just going to give it because that's how special you are.
So if you're thinking frustration or lack, it's going to give you more of that.
More lack. Mm-hmm.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them. And there's only one reason it's not in their lives, and that's because they're stopping it from coming into them.
The message of The Secret is the message that I've been trying to share with the world on my show for the past 21 years.